Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for your daily morning dose with your breakfast, with your coffee, your orange juice, your tea, your beer, whatever your preference is. Chelsea FC news. Today we've got 5 news stories to go to. The consolidation, I guess you could say, of a couple of stories that have kind of come to an end. I say kind of because the Tammy Abraham story, I feel as though it's kind of like a closing of a chapter as opposed to the closing of a book. I've already said that I believe that Tammy Abraham will return to Chelsea at some point. We're going to talk about Tammy, going to talk about Emerson, going to talk about Zouma, and we're also going to talk about Romelu Lukaku, who has been finally training with his teammates. Before we get into anything though, I do want to ask you to subscribe to GBFC. I'm going to be announcing a very special giveaway coming out maybe in today's later video. If there is a later video today, I'm not sure. I'm not going to push to upload multiple videos a day, but if I feel like there's enough to talk about, then there will be. And if you want to get ahead of the game, you should go and follow my Instagram. Link is in the description below. That is where there's going to be like things you need to do. It's going to be very simple. But if you want to follow my Instagram, link down below. And whilst you're at it, hit the like button on today's video because it really helps me out. But we begin with Tammy Abraham. It is official. He is there with Jose Mourinho in Rome. Tammy Abraham has signed for AS Roma. The reason I say that the Abraham story, in my opinion, isn't over, because Chelsea have a buyback clause for £68 million that can be activated in 2023. But in the meantime, you can see there's a lot of similarities with Tammy Abraham moving to Roma as what we saw with Romelu Lukaku all of those years ago, when Lukaku was obviously still at 18, 19 years old, a very good player. But at the time, like we said in the interview yesterday, he was behind Didier Drogba, Nicolas Anelka, players that had already earned the right to be in the Chelsea first team and were at the peak and pinnacle of their games. So Tammy Abraham at this moment in time, Chelsea, there's never been a doubt in anyone's mind that Tammy Abraham's a quality striker. You see the quotes coming out from Marina Granovskaya to confirm Tammy Abraham's departure. She says that Tammy is always welcome back at Stamford Bridge. Now, I know that is technically like if Tammy wants to pop over to England to watch a Chelsea game, they'll give him a nice little plush seat with probably a couple of cushions, a bit like this one I've got here. That's obvious, but I think Chelsea are aware that Tammy Abraham will probably, if his career trajectory path goes the way that we all envisage it will, which will be scoring loads of goals for fun in Italy, then there is a very strong possibility that Tammy will be back at Chelsea in the future. The main angle that I wanted to address in this video today, because obviously we talked about Tammy a lot, and it's been quite clear for some time that Tammy Abraham will probably be leaving Chelsea this summer. The angle I want to address is Thomas Tuchel. Is Thomas Tuchel to blame for Tammy Abraham's exit? Now, to me, the word blame suggests that something bad and something wrong has been done or has happened here. The only thing I would say in terms of the word blame that I would say to Thomas Tuchel is not dealing with this very well was the fact that Tammy Abraham didn't even get in the squad for the FA Cup final, which, whether I'm just looking at this too sentimentally or not, I do believe that there isn't really a necessity to have both Emerson and Marcus Alonso and Ben Chilwell, 3 different left backs involved in the squad. It wasn't just the FA Cup final, but for me that was like the, come on, Tammy at least deserves to be in the squad for this game. It happened a couple of times in various different matches, Premier League games, the cup final being the notable one. I did think that was a little bit unfair. However, Thomas Tuchel being Thomas Tuchel has even said it himself in quotations. You know, we're going to put some of them up on the screen now. Thomas Tuchel has accepted any of this blame for Tammy Abraham's fallout, I guess you could say, at Chelsea. You know, he was the number 9. He was scoring goals. He was a very key figure under Frank Lampard. He did score 15 Premier League goals in his first full Chelsea season. So if fans want to get mad at Thomas Tuchel, then for me, it kind of goes against the principle of why I love football so much, which is to support my club through thick and thin, no matter what decisions they make. Of course, some of them we can really stand up and revolt against, point in question the Super League. But in terms of individual players, Thomas Tuchel came in, Chelsea were 9th in the Premier League table. He manages to put us 4th in the Premier League, FA Cup final, Champions League winners, now Super Cup winners. I don't think anybody really is in a position to blame Thomas Tuchel for anything negative right now. And the reason why I keep on driving this hype about Tuchel, I keep driving this hype about the club right now, is because I think all of the decisions that we've made regarding player signings, bringing back Lukaku, player sales, I actually agree with every single one of them. And as a fan, to see the club doing such great things, there were some very, very poor things regarding the Matthew Harding lower not being ready for the opening Premier League game of the season, which was really, really badly managed by the club. But in terms of on the pitch, players, managers, I think everything has been dealt with very well. And I think as much as we can say, yeah, maybe Tammy should have been here or should have been there, I think the right thing has happened for both Chelsea, the team, and also the player. I think Tammy's going to excel in Serie A, and I'm going to put this story to bed now. We've spoken about Tammy Abraham a lot. I expect to see him back at Chelsea in a few years' time, when maybe a few of these little hairs in my dreadful beard have gone a little bit more grey, silver fox Benson, without dyeing the hair. That's what I expect firmly. We move into the third story of the day, and it is regarding Emerson Palmieri. It was reported pretty heavily that Emerson back to Italy was going to be the move, if there was a move to be had. It is heating up now between Emerson and Lyon. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted saying that Lyon are trying to work on a deal. Chelsea, because Emerson's contract expires next year, they're very much aware that a team might want to loan Emerson for this season with the chance to sign permanently next year. So Chelsea being Chelsea, they never leave a stone unturned. They've extended Emerson's contract by an additional year, seeing it run to 2023. So if a loan move is the only move that they can get for Emerson this summer, they know that next summer they won't be losing him for free. Chelsea are incredibly smart with business, and I think I would love to actually talk to somebody who is very much in with the Chelsea finances and the business runnings of Chelsea Football Club, because now that I'm really investing time in making these videos, I can really start to see a long-term plan and how and why things are happening at Chelsea for different financial reasons. And this contract that Emerson's been given is very similar to the extension given to Batshuayi, where Batshuayi's gone on loan to Besiktas. There is not an option to buy in that deal, but Batshuayi could have left on a free next summer. Chelsea extended the contract by another year to make sure they can maximise money and potential of player sales. Emerson to Lyon, it's heating up. Maybe in the course of the next couple of days, Lyon Emerson can strike a deal with Chelsea to take him over to France. We move into another defender who might well be leaving Chelsea, probably going to be leaving Chelsea, not Trevor Chalobah, Kurt Zouma. You know, everybody kind of loves Kurt Zouma, whether you think he's a quality defender or not. He is his middle name says it for himself. He's a happy man. He's a good man. He was one of our top scorers last season, which is pretty mad. Prone to a mistake, but definitely good enough for a top Premier League move. However, John Terry has had his say on Kurt Zouma and the interest still from Spurs. JT has commented on a post pretty much reminding Zouma not to do the dirty, not to do the deed. And I just wanted to, put jokes aside for a second. If Kurt Zouma wants to move to Spurs, as much as I wouldn't like it, again, I try and see football from various different perspectives. I can be upset with that as a fan, but you've got to see it. Kurt Zouma, a move to Tottenham is still a decent move. You know, they are kind of like mid-table mediocrity, but they made a good start to the season. You know, they don't win trophies, but at least he'd be playing still in London. He could probably keep his house that he's got right now, potentially, if he wanted to. There's lots of different factors that come into play with this, and Spurs, in the mind of Kurt Zouma, could still be considered a big move. West Ham United have also not given up on Kurt Zouma, but they're a little bit miffed at the fact that the wages are significantly higher than what they would be willing to spend, which, if that's the way West Ham want to look, then, well, don't expect Declan Rice to stay at the club for too much longer. But we finalise this Chelsea FC news video today here on GBFC by taking a little look at the images and videos of Romelu Lukaku's first day in training. My favourite one of them all is the fact that he walks out with Trevor Chalobah, which I absolutely love. We know that Lukaku is very good friends still with Trevor's brother, Nathaniel Chalobah, who's of course now at Watford. Didn't quite work out for him at Chelsea, but I just love not only just seeing Lukaku training is one thing, which is great news, and it kind of brings the reality out that Romelu Lukaku is in fact again a Chelsea player, but seeing the connections that he has and bringing the stories back to the fact that when he was at Chelsea, Nathaniel Chalobah was also one of the only young players there, and Trevor was obviously still coming up, probably ball boying somewhere. Just so many nice narratives coming out from this Lukaku deal. But at the same time, if we look at the sharpness in training, I know it's only a couple of little video clips, and maybe even I could have accidentally done a couple of nice turns if I was being filmed on a luscious grass football pitch with some wonderful football boots and a perfectly shaped Vapormax football or whatever it is. But Lukaku looking good. We can see the early images, early videos coming out, and Romelu Lukaku looks set to start against Arsenal this weekend. Of course, the game is on Sunday. I thought it was Saturday, but I got it wrong again. Time zones, don't blame me. But we are so excited to see Chelsea go to the Emirates at the weekend. Looks as though Arsenal could complete the signing of Martin Odegaard before that happens. If you want to go and see, I do top 5 Premier League news stories of the day. It's over on GBFC 2. And also stay tuned today because GBFC Shorts is going to be releasing the top 5 Chelsea versus Arsenal goals, in my opinion. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you are new. Hit the like button if you enjoyed today's Chelsea news video. And I'll see you guys later. Come on, you Blues.